And we're live. Hello everybody. Welcome. My name is Denarius. For those who don't know me, I'm the host of this little talk show podcast, whatever you want to call it, called Vtuber Gaming Talk, in which we invite a Vtuber to a one-on-one talk about video game and video game related topics. And today we have it seems like a druid. I don't know, my systems just picked up as a druid, but I don't think he is that. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What's poppin', my pimple? Hello, I'm Wallace Brower. I am a VTuber, as you can tell. Oh wow, look at me. Oh boy. I make videos mostly about Sonic the Hedgehog and the weird kind of culture around him, and his weird impact on pop culture as a whole. So thank you for having me on. I'm excited to hang out, talk about whatever, and yeah, have a good time.
All right. Yeah, so I think I shouldn't be asking this question, right? It kind of seems obvious for what you just explained, but it's a tradition on this show, and I have to ask, what are your favorite games specifically?
You know, it's funny. I think about what my top 5 favorite games are, and none of them are Sonic.
Makes sense.
I think when it comes to favorite games, Team Fortress 2, Little Big Planet 2, Kadoa Shoujo. I'd probably say, yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and the last one's tough. I guess I could slide in a Sonic game. I could do the classic Sonic Adventure 2, so I'll roll with that. But yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Shout out Persona 4 though.
Oh yeah, you have to include that one.
Big Persona head right here.
Yeah, figure. I mean, I said figure when I also love that game. It's one of my favorites too. But it took me so long to get to appreciate it specifically.
Really?
Yeah, I tried it back in the PS2 when I was in high school, like the vanilla version of Persona 4, right? I just let Yukiko die, and that's it. I just didn't play it ever again.
She had it coming.
Yeah, I was pissed. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't want it to grind the RPG side of things, so I just let her die. God.
It's funny with my experience. So I got a PS Vita from someone. Yeah, as like a gift. And then I started playing. They gifted me the PS Vita and then Persona 4 Golden. They really just want me to play it, and I was like, okay, you know what? I really want to. I enjoyed 5 at that point. And yeah, no, I love the setting of Persona 4, like the small town setting and everything. Very cozy kind of experience. So
yeah,
I'd probably, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. Probably my favorite in the series for vibe alone, but like I can argue that, you know, from a gameplay standpoint, P5 and even like the new Persona 3 Reload, those ones are probably superior from a gameplay standpoint at this point. But,
yeah, the quality of life from 3 to 4 and from 4 to 5 are way too many. That it's insane imagining the series without them at this point. Like the baton pass from 5, the ability to control your party members from 4. Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's insane. Going back to OG Persona 3 or even Persona 3 FES, dude, it's a little bit of a nightmare not being able to control your party members, but you know what? It's still a good experience. Like, it was awesome.
Persona 3 Fest, man.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I enjoy games, but I'm my gamer level, like, dude, I'm so bad at them, so I could not. I had to put down a Persona 3 Fest, and I had to just play portable because I was just so bad at it, so I kind of missed out on
Yeah.
some of the like hit of the like initial kind of experience of the Persona 3. But I would not have been able to get through the game otherwise, or like really enjoy it. So
Yeah, you know what's the
struggle.
funniest part about Persona 3 Fest? They
Hmm.
decided to put in a canonical campaign under basically what it could be considered a quote-unquote crossover. It's complicated because you have the main campaign and then you have a secondary also second main campaign, you could call it, called The Answer, right? So
Yeah.
in that campaign you basically play the game as if it was an original, like an OG Shin Megami Tensei game. Like no Persona mechanics, just Shin Megami Tensei, but with the Persona characters. It's awful. I just say that it's horrible. It's a torture. Like
I'm curious to see how they fix it though with the
new
the DLC.
I just hope they just keep the gameplay from the original campaign and just add this story, even though the story is awful too. Like,
very divisive, yeah. Yukari, like character assassination, you know.
Oh, dude, they made her such a bitch. It's not fair. It's not.
Pour
It's
one out
not even
for the
fun.
queen.
Yeah. Like, I get it. It's an interesting development of what happens after the story of 3, but come on. What a way to just regress characters there.
Yeah, but hey, here's an important question as a Persona fan, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Persona opening?
Persona opening. The vanilla version of Persona 4.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good option.
It's either that, I'm in between that one or Fez, because the Fez opening, it's good. It's good. It's short, but just a good point. But the Persona 4
Is it
opening
just like a cut
has
up like
more
AMV though, kind of thing? Like,
yeah, it's a GMB technically for Fez, but the music is good. For an actual like animated opening, I'll go with Persona 4. The Persona 4 has so much personality. I love it. They took it a little bit away with the second opening on Gold, but you know what? I'm not going to complain.
yeah, I think for myself, I do really enjoy Persona 3 Portables opening, because it's kind of like a mirror, you know, you can turn it upside down and you get the other character's perspective.
Cool.
So I think it's really gas.
Yeah.
But I also really like vanilla Persona 4. Even Golden's opening I kind of vibe with, and then like vanilla P5's opening. I think P5R is still pretty cool, but I just like the more minimalistic approach of vanilla P5.
Red, blacks and whites. Yep. Yeah, no, that's the whole vibe of the Phantom Thieves, isn't it? So it makes sense.
Yeah, pretty much. The whole like UI in that game, or even like how now like Atlas is taking more like a bigger stance on having better UI and more style in their own games, and like I adore it. I can only pray we see that level of style in like a Sonic game, but like regardless,
you're asking too much. Like you will think they are owned by the same company, but these like two different worlds. Like the UI on a Sonic game compared to the UI on a like an Atlus game is just what the hell. It's
a man can dream. I mean, hey, I will give like credit where it's due. I think like they're. The Sonic's never had bad UI. I think there's always been some style. I just think the game lacks like sauce, you know, compared to like the Persona games where, you know, they have good UI, but the UI has sauce to it. It has style, it has grace. And I feel like Sonic stuff just feels super like kind of corporate, kind of lifeless at points.
Yeah, it feels like you're pausing a machine. I don't know. Every time I think of UI on Sonic games, I always go to, funny enough, Sonic Riders. I always go to that because I don't know. It's satisfying just hearing those confirmation sounds every time you click on something. It's nice.
That's good sound design.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I like its Y2K kind of aesthetic. uh, there's um some fans ported over, or they took Riders on the GameCube, and then they went to the code and kind of like reprogrammed like a lot of the like the boards, balanced out the stats, and made like a tournament kind of. Well, yeah, it's called like Tournament Edition Sonic Riders. I'm sure it's under a different name now because the project's kind of flip-flopped a bit, but it really brings like the life of Sonic Riders out, and it just like it really takes the game to like the next level of like, oh dang, this game is just had so much potential. It's kind of a shame after the first one it kind of went downhill slowly, and then after like third entry it was just like what. So
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Free Riders. I wish you could play that one without the Kinect. That would be good.
You can.
You can.
There's
now.
now there's a mod, not a mod. Well, yeah, kind of. Where people took Free Riders and then they made it where you can just use your like Xbox controller and then play it on PC. And from what I've heard, it's actually like pretty good. I just haven't had the chance to get around to it myself, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. So it's like, oh, okay, it's nice. I mean, I respect the efforts. I mean, Sonic fans really be like, we'll fix every Sonic game if we have to, like under the sun, but
yeah, we'll just fuck it. Why not?
We ball.
Yeah, the mod also works in console. Oh, I mean, it makes sense. It should work for. It should work for one of the. I would like to say it's one of the easiest consoles in that generation to mod, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, it makes sense for it to work on the 360 too.
Yeah. It adds up, it adds up.
Yeah.
But
It's still funny. I don't know which one to decide when it comes to like the best Riders game. I like both Zero Gravity and the first one. I have fear of trying the actual free Riders, but
yeah,
I may have to do it at some point. I don't know, but hey,
nah, you valid.
I appreciate the fact that in fucking Sonic Riders they just decided to add other Sega characters and references in there just for the fun of it, and that was awesome. Like getting to play on that, like on those two Sega stages that had a lot of reference to other franchises and stuff. It was really good.
It's something I've come to appreciate as time has gone on. I've been able to play more Sega games. So I'm at the point where I'm a pretty big like Sega junkie. More like the Dreamcast era than like Genesis. I'm not exactly like the biggest on like 2D games. I just so bad at them.
Same.
Yeah, but yeah, like the 3D era, like Dreamcast era, there's so many references like Crazy Taxi and stuff. Monkey Ball, which I'm awful at, but outside of Sonic, are you familiar with like any other the like Sega franchises or?
Yes, actually. Like I've played a little of Crazy Taxi. I'm a really big Yakuza fan, so thanks to that I played a lot of like old Sega arcade games like Fantasy Zone, Space Harrier, Virtual On. That was so fucking fun. What the hell? Then you have the racing games like the Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform and the first one. Those are made with so much love for those franchises. Insane. At one point I wanted to make a video about it, like which one of the two it's like the better pick if you want to start with these kinds of games. And I ended up figuring out the first game is the best one. Like
really,
yeah,
that's a pretty divisive opinion, I feel.
I mean, think about it. You have a crazy roster with really old faces representing the actual like drivers. You have a more variety, quote unquote, on the like car selection type of thing. You have people on bikes, you have people on cars, you have people on vehicles that can fly a little. So technically you have 3 different types of vehicles, unlike in All-Star Racing Transformed that everybody just has a car. It's just a car, maybe add extra wheels just for flair or something like that. And the track selection, I don't know, in both games is a little weird. Like, you have House of the Dead, like 6 different Sonic stages, 3 for Final Fortress and 3 for what's the name of this place from Sonic Heroes? I don't remember.
Seaside Hill.
Seaside Hill, yeah, that one.
Ocean Palace.
Ocean Palace, Seaside Hill. So you have that aspect on it. Then you have in Transform, you have Sonic Colors, and I think that's it. I'm not remembering anything at this point. It's been a few months.
I think you have Fortress in there. It's been a long time since I played that game, so I mean, I'm partial to All Stars Racing just because I have more memory playing it. But listen, I mean, we all know which game is better because one has the Aux cast and the other doesn't. So what does that say? You know, Danica Patrick is in one of them. Okay, I know, right? Smells coy. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. No, this Goober getting in here.
But yeah,
disgusting Sonic fan in chat right here.
Oh, figure. You lose that fuck pussy. Meet you on the racetrack.
Dog, I'll pick you up like a kitten by like your scruff. I'll just like throw you out like against the wall. Don't try me.
Oh, god damn it. But like I was saying.
Yeah, no, shout out Sonic All-Stars Racing, man.
Yeah, Sonic All-Stars Racing and All-Stars Racing Transform are both great games. Don't get me wrong. I loved both of those games. Bro, I'm American. We'll shoot you. Horse from Mass Boy.
Can't trust this Goober.
God damn it. But yeah, no, like I was saying, both games are great. They are a great way to homage all the series and games that Sega had a lot of all over the years. Like what I like is usually when they just squeeze references and stages and characters and stuff like that just for referencing them, or just have something from their series into the racetrack is great. Like having an all-star move just going on the rollerblades and just painting everywhere, or having Shadow just use the actual Shadow the Hedgehog theme for the Chaos Control, like the Chaos Control jingle from his game as his all-star move is great. It's just great stuff.
Yeah, no, I just remember
here's just one little thing that at least makes a little bit better the OG to Transform. You have Sonic Rush music on console.
Yeah. Sonic Rush music is so good.
And Jet Set Radio Future.
Just the Jet Set soundtrack in general. Show Hideki Naganuma. That man, that funky uncle knows how to cook.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's Sonic Rush soundtrack. It's a shame it's locked to the DS and doesn't have a higher quality soundtrack. I mean,
yeah,
sure, there's it's crisper on Spotify, but at the end of the day, it's just that game's soundtrack is unmatched. I feel when it comes to the Sonic series, Sonic R and the Sonic Rush franchise probably have my favorite Sonic soundtracks.
They're the most unique one. I would give you. Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely the most kind of stylized, it feels, if you can really say that. But yeah, they don't tend to stand out on their own. Not Sonic Free Riders though, freaking coy. Sonic Free Riders on top. Goofy ass. But
I fear that game so much I haven't even tried checking out the fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, it's pretty generic from what I've heard. but it is what it is, you know.
Even more coming up from like the bangers that has the other two games is insane. For real, actually sounds alright. Okay, I'll believe you. I believe you.
But for Sonic standards, man, I don't know.
Honestly, I just stopped making it quote unquote standard for when it comes to soundtrack. Soundtrack can be good in some parts, can be bad in others. It's insane the amount of quality in some areas, but hey, I appreciate it. I like having a good variety in my Spotify playlist. And that's the best part. You can listen it to Spotify or YouTube or whatever you want.
Yippee, baby. Yeah, no, there's a. You know what's also crazy? Do you know the game Sonic Runners?
Sonic Runners, yeah, it's the mobile game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened for that game, but like they actually like popped off on that soundtrack to like a degree they did not need to.
Yeah.
I use that like in a lot of my videos. I'll just use the Sonic Runners soundtrack because it's one of those things. It has no right to be as good as it is, or like as it is. It's we're talking. I think like June Snow worked on it. Who's kind of like the main Sonic guy who plays like guitar on like all the songs.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Sonic Heroes Adventure, like he's the guy.
That OST was Tomoya Otani's favorite OST to work on, so that tracks. Wow.
Yeah, it's genuinely a shame that it's a mobile game that like you can't even play anymore, from my understanding, because its soundtrack is like godly. Honestly, it's some of the best in the Sonic series, like hands down.
Here's hoping you can listen to it on other platforms at least.
Oh yeah, no, you still can. Like, it got a full soundtrack release. I think you can listen to it on like Spotify.
Okay, cool.
At the very least, it's on like YouTube, so like in like album format, pretty much. So
it's on Spotify. Fuck yeah. Okay, I'll check it out later. Holy shit. It was a pretty short soundtrack too, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, it's not super long, but yeah, it's got maybe like a length of like an LP, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
I'm just gonna take a sip of water here.
Okay. What else? Oh yeah, we had Bayonetta playing earlier, right? How much? How many games of that franchise have you played so far?
I'm still in the first.
Makes sense. Me too.
I got the one on the Wii U, and I didn't have the right controller. I didn't have the Pro controller, and it was bugging me because I was like, this game needs to be like played on a Pro controller.
Yeah.
So I bought one. I just have not gotten a chance to get back into playing it. I've been too busy doing other like video stuff and balancing that out. It's one of those games I want to like really sit down and like give my time to and like commit to it, because from what I have played, I played the first like few hours multiple times. I really do enjoy the game. I see the appeal. I see why it's like so popular, and I love, again, the style and how crazy it is. Theory of Attack from Runners was also allegedly used as the base for Team Sonic Racing's Frozen Junkyard theme. Oh, dude, Team Sonic Racing's another great soundtrack. I mean, it's a shame the game never came out, you know? It's just a shame that they never made that game. But
Sumo
that
Digital
soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah, Sumo Digital never finished the trilogy, didn't it?
Yeah. Kind of like how Sega never finished the trilogy of Riders, you know? It's crazy.
God damn it.
Sonic games, man. That's how they always be, you know? Never a good third in a racing game, you know? That's the Sega rules.
Yeah. Maybe that's the reason why we never get Half-Life 3 or Team Fortress 3, you know?
Oh, no. They love to keep us on the edge of our seats. Love to play with our hearts.
True. Team Fortress 2.
TF2, man. I was playing it for like the first time in like a good long time last night. Just like a little brain break. Man, I adore that game. Like, it's a shame with the servers. They've been having so many issues with bots. You have to kind of like go out of your way to find like other servers to play on. You can't really play on like the main ones, like the Valve servers, just because the bot problem is like that bad.
Yeah, no, the bot problem is insane. You need to go to like community created ones. There's no other
Yeah.
option.
Probably like the biggest like TF2 YouTuber, Uncle Dane.
Oh yeah.
He
Uncle Dane
has
servers are really chill.
yeah. Fun fact, he did the it's a little off topic, but I think it's a funny little piece of knowledge that you can appreciate.
Yeah.
The content cop on like Keemstar that iDubbbz did back in like 2016, where they had like the All-Star parody, that's sung by Uncle Dane.
No. Oh,
Those two go back, so it's really funny that yeah. But yeah, no, it's really funny how yeah, with like TF2, that game has a whole soundtrack of its own, but I usually just play with like the music off.
I mean,
but the music is like only really, I don't know, the game is more ambient like background noise, and then occasionally they'll like sprinkle in some tracks for certain parts, but
I mean, the
I don't know, I
soundtrack.
never really go to TF2 for its music.
For me, the soundtrack on TF2 shines on the videos more than the actual game, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
you don't remember any of the soundtrack unless you watch the actual Meet the Mercenary videos. Like, you don't remember Gun without the engineer playing it on the guitar on his video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the iconicness of the soundtrack just comes from the personality of the characters, which is basically what TF2 is. Like, the characters is what makes TF2.
Still bums me out. We were supposed to get like a Team Fortress 2 show at some point with like Adult Swim. They had like that whole like 20-minute animated short, and that was supposed to be kind of like the pilot for it. It did well. It performed very well. It just for some reason it just never came to fruition, and then now it can't really because you know the voice actor for the soldier passed away recently.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, King.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, so it's just kind of like.
What's funny is that all the other voice actors are always down to play the characters, which is is really helpful. Like, I love the amount of projects they are just in for the community. It's insane.
Yeah, they're all getting up there though. That's the thing. So it's, you know, if there was to be another, I mean, yeah, we won't get another like TF2 project. I think like a show or anything like that.
Unless you ask the community, they'll be always down to do something like that.
The community, I mean, yeah, they had the whole end of the line update, which was because of a fan animation using like SFM.
Yes.
And then got like a loot box, its own like update in game, which that's crazy. That's like really cool to see, like a fan project get that level of like notoriety to get its own special update.
Yes.
There's like a bunch of, you know, they had like the Saxy awards and everything. Like there was so much support for a good while for like TF2.
How many years were
like
the Saxy
community.
awards running? I think it was at least what, 5 years, maybe more.
At the bare minimum, yeah. Like yeah, I'd argued probably longer than that, but I've been kind of disconnected from like the TF2 community for the most part since 2016, 2017 maybe. I definitely had an era where I was really like deeply involved with it.
I mean, me too.
Like the content creation side.
I mean, me too. I was watching animations, playing the game, enjoying the economy and stuff like that. It was a good time, but I had other things and I moved on. It's just insane.
Yeah, I think Overwatch came out. And I was still playing a lot of like TF2 and stuff, but it just came in time. I was probably by the time I reached like high school or something, I just kind of had other things coming up, and then I was just working on video stuff. Also, you know, school. So I just kind of stopped playing it as much because also it wasn't getting as much attention from Valve anymore after that point. And like every time there's a big update, you know, I'd come back in and play for like a good while. But
yeah, but the last big update I think it was 2018 with Jungle Inferno, and that's it.
Yeah, which is a bummer. Yeah. It looks like TF2 was having a resurgence because Germa and Stir kind of like returned to it for a bit. And you know, it was given like a second wind in a sense, but it just kind of died out sadly, which was it sucks because I don't know, man. It's just it doesn't make any sense for Valve from a financial standpoint to like put any time into it, to like fixing the game or whatever. But like, still though,
I mean,
it'd just be nice to at least make it like playable, like with the public servers again, with how like bad things have gotten.
yeah, like, how do I put it? You have two options at this point. Either develop a completely brand new, made in Source 2 maybe, TF2, like TF2 Reloaded or TF2 Refreshed or something like that.
Kind of like what they did with CSGO.
Yeah, or put the plug and just straight up close the main servers and just let the community make community servers and let them to keep those, and that's it.
I don't know. I think it's still good to have like an introduction. I don't think them closing down the servers is the way to go, because it's such a pain to like navigate like the menus and everything. Like the UI has not changed since like 2007.
And the community,
so like finding a way to like connect to the, if they like, you know, made it on the main page where you can find it where it's easier to navigate, hey, what you're looking for, then like I could see that. But at the same time, like, I think having to navigate to community maps where they are now is just not the play. It's so like dinosaur tech at this point.
Yeah.
Like you have to know what you're doing. And even like then, like for years, I didn't even know how to like properly navigate it. I would just like join friends on like servers they were playing on. I didn't know how to like look for my own games and servers. It was all just really confusing. So I think for like a newer generation, like, yeah, no, it's not gonna be the play.
Yeah.
I just think they need to. I think it's because like their source code got leaked, and that's why it's so much easier for them to, have hackers and
yeah, they just evade
bots
the
come in the
back
servers.
security system easily. Even more because they don't updated that in a long time. So that's why you get this kind of shit on Team Fortress 2 and not on other games like Dota or CSGO, because those are the money makers. Those are the ones who get the actual like updates for security and stuff. Even though that doesn't stop the cheaters to keep playing with CS2. So, hey.
Yeah, but it's still like not as bad as like TF2.
Yeah.
TF2, I cannot play a single game on a lobby. Even yesterday, I tried hitting up a public server. And it was good for me like the first like 2 minutes, but just people just had to keep kicking out bots, and like they kept joining in, and it was just.
It was hell, dude.
It's borderline unplayable.
Yeah.
Which is, it sucks to see, because TF2 is probably my favorite game of all time. Probably the game I've put the most hours into. So it just sucks to see, you know, your baby slowly die, but you know, at least the community is keeping it alive in a sense, which is nice. And even then, like I was able to join and just, you know, it was fun. I just got to talk to like a bunch of random people, and yeah, I think a lot of like the charm of like the TF2 community is still there after all this time. So
yeah, it is still nice to just hop in and just hang out, maybe be a friendly, maybe just play a casual game, try to practice and stuff like that. It's a nice time every once in a while. I'm the kind of person that, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm an engineer, so I'm just a big enjoyer of just setting camp on fucking Turbine. I just love doing that. But with the bots, it's kind of impossible to do now.
Yeah, the tricky part. Did you ever own any like unusual hats?
No, I've never managed to get myself one. I just prioritize getting a loadout of cosmetic for my classes, and that's it. But never managed to get myself an unusual. I was a mainly free to play kind of person, so yeah. I just crapped with the community a little, like selling metal, getting hats, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then the whole like TF2 economy being like completely fucked.
Oh yeah. The
that's
fucking
so crazy.
Captain Hat just fucked the economy up a lot.
Yeah, I guess for those listening, you don't know what we're talking about. TF2 had an issue where unusuals are kind of like, you know, the CSGO like ultimate kind of skins or whatever. So that's kind of like the TF2 community has these hats. They have particle effects on them. They're kind of like the big, cosmetic or thing that keeps the TF2 economy going. So basically, there was a glitch at some point in one of the updates that allowed people to, with the earlier crates, like if they pretty much guarantee they get unusual hats, which are supposed to be like a 1% chance you open them in a crate, but it just allowed like 100% instead. So the whole economy that was built up overnight, or like collapsed overnight, and to this day still hasn't fully recovered. It used to be you'd have like 3 stages of metal, so it'd almost be like $1, $5, $10 bill kind of situation. Yeah, ever since like the whole duplication issue almost like half a decade ago, the economy's been like bad. So a lot of like trading. So what people could do before, they could kind of like, it was a viable option where you could go from like, hey, a brand new account, and you could trade your way up to getting like kind of full membership. Because beforehand it was almost like you'd have to buy an item from like the Valve store or something, put some money in the game, and then you get the quote unquote full version where you would get like you could trade like hats and like unusuals and taunts and all that stuff. Otherwise you're kind of just stuck with like trading weapons, and I don't know at the full extent, but there was a lot of like limits on just like default Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, the limits were basically all the guns you get, and if you and the metal you get from those guns were not tradable, like at all. That's the limit of the newer accounts without buying anything. All the weapons and all the metal you get, it's non-tradable. So it's just basically to make the hats and everything you make with the metal non-tradable. So
it's just like, I thought at one point though you could trade your way out of free to play. That was a whole like aspect, and people made like series about it.
Yeah, you could if you sell the chromes out. I don't know how I did it. I think I remember how I got my way out of free to play, and that was thanks to the orange box. Funny enough.
Really?
I managed to find someone selling a key of the orange box for PC, and I grabbed that. And since TF2 was free to play by this point, they gave me the premium DLC technically, which is basically they allow me to have extra inventory I get out of the free to play, and I get a hat thanks to it. So that's how I got
the whole get the veterans hat.
Yeah, I get the veterans hat. I think you can still do that. Like there's still keys of the orange box rolling around, but no, that's my way of getting out of it. If not, then it's just at $1, maybe $3 to just buy a key, and that's it.
Yeah. Which
you can get that value in metal if you sell it on the Steam store, I think. Like there are some hats that are valued on that, then you use the wallet on Steam to buy the key, and that's how you get out of free to play.
So there's ways to break out, Yeah,
there's ways. Trading, it's a really interesting way of doing things. Like I always loved more the economy on the TF2 side of things than the CS:GO, CS and the CS2 type of stuff, because it's a little bit more nuanced. Like you have the metals that then you can trade off. It's like a different type of currency that transforms into actual IRL currency. It's insane. Then you have CS:GO that is more straightforward. That this, sell it for this, and that's it. You get money.
Yeah. That's how it tends to be. Yeah. TF2 always have a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
But speaking about games with like purchasable cosmetics, wow, that was not a smooth transition. Did you ever play the Little Big Planet series?
No, actually, I've never had a PS3. I've always wanted it, but it was impossible to get for me.
Yeah, I was always a like a Nintendo kid, but the one time I wasn't, I had a PS3, and that series also had like its own like the whole marketplace of like cosmetics that you would buy, like different packs. There's like some crazy crossovers, um whether it be like other Sony games like the Muppets and Disney. um there's even like maps you could purchase, but that's another very community driven game. But that one has had the servers shut down, sadly. So that's one that's like, oh, end of an era. But yeah, no, that game was very enjoyable. I have a very soft spot for a Little Big Planet as well.
Here's hoping we
the soundtrack for the game is really good.
Here's hoping we get a proper Little Big Planet next. Like, Sackboy Adventures looks really nice, and it looks like a fun platformer. But I hope we get a community-driven one soon enough.
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't know if we will for a long time. I know Dreams is kind of like a spiritual successor of like a Little Big Planet 4 in a sense.
Yeah.
By like Media Molecule, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to. I honestly did not care for Little Big Planet 3 at all. But I was playing the PS3 port and it ran like ass compared to like the Little Big Planet 2 is forever my favorite one. That's one I spent the most time on. Little Big Planet 1, I made the mistake of playing Little Big Planet 2 first. Little Big Planet 1 is just kind of like a
the starting point.
Not even that. It's just like you can't really go back to it. It's just like a regression of everything, it feels, that makes a Little Big Planet good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Little Big Planet 2 has my whole ass heart, and that's definitely the one I spend like the most time playing over the years.
Yeah, that sounds like something it happens fairly often with Sony games. Like, going back to Crash Bandicoot 1 after playing Crash Bandicoot 2 or 3. Yeah, now you feel the difference. This game has barely any barely any options compared to the other two games. It's interesting.
Yeah. And meanwhile, with all the Sonic games, it's like, oh, the old ones are like the best ones, and the newer ones are like,
Yeah. Well, you have a few, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you have the Adventure 1 and 2 games. Good. Those are practically what everybody considers good. Then you have Heroes, which is great. It's different, but it's great. Then you have Shadow, which is it's good, but why am I repeating this all over again
it's
and
a
again?
silly game. It's a silly game. I haven't personally played it myself. That's kind of the one from the GameCube era that I missed out on. But I know those stories. I know the lore. I've seen my friend Sam Procrastinates play it on stream.
Yeah.
And him like wanting to tear out his hair.
You know, you want to know a funny story? I've completed that game 100% on the PS2. And
Why?
I don't. Yeah. I've played that game so fucking much, it's not even funny. I do not remember the lore of that game. You know why? Because after the third playthrough, you start not giving a shit about it.
It really does just blend together.
Yeah, it's just, what am I doing here? I just know there's a meteor on the space. There's also a space station, and I have this little black Squidward trying to order me around. Then I have Eggman. Then I have the Sonic and pals just trying to order me around too. And I have the army of the United States just trying to fire the living shit out of me with other aliens that are just coming out on space that, mind you, they are called black aliens, but they are gray. And they try to confuse me with them. It's just like, the fuck is going on? I don't get it. And then
It's a whole ass thing.
yeah, and then I just somehow go back in time as Super Shadow, fucking drag a meteor into the Earth without space entry, mind you, and I let the fucking satellite on space fire the shit out of this thing and destroy without even touching the planet. It's what the fuck? It's
Such
cool.
an unserious game.
It's cool. It's cool to see it, but the fuck.
Have you seen the reveal trailer for Shadow the Hedgehog from like 2005?
No, I haven't.
It's one of my favorite things in the world. It is insane. For like the 15th anniversary for Sonic, they were playing. They had. Yeah, they're celebrating like Sonic throughout the years, whatever. Sort of has kind of like cool Sonic game, blah 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 blah. And then yeah, like fucking like gunshots like break the glass of like the screen, and like the screen like breaks, and it just like reveals Shadow with a gun, and it's so ridiculous.
Oh, it's nostalgia
my
critic level of
favorite
meme.
things.
What the fuck?
100%, 100%. So unserious, but yeah, I love those goofy parts of Sonic history.
Yeah. You know what's funny? When Sam started that charity event he was doing, just play Sonic games
Raising
on-
Rings.
Yeah, I wanted to participate on that because that just landed just around the time when I started playing Sonic Unleashed on the PS2 on stream, right? But
Hey,
I
yeah.
held back on that because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do charity, because it's a gameplay stream. It's something that not many people will like to stay around for, even less for charity. So I just backed off on that, but still play the PS2 version of that game, and it's fun. I love Sonic Unleashed. So, yeah.
It's a good game. I think, I mean, hey, it's a yearly event, so you can always do it next year and maybe have something in mind. But
I mean, I have
Yeah,
other
I
Sonic
know,
games that I wanted to play, yeah.
yeah, what Sonic games have you played?
That I haven't?
No, that you have.
Oh, well, okay, so Sonic Unleashed on the PS2, Shadow the Hedgehog, the adventure games, Sonic Heroes on the PS2, but never managed to finish it because the game just started to break after Casino
PS2
Night.
is the worst port. Play the GameCube version.
I'm going to. I have it. I have it ready to go. Sonic Mania. I tried Sonic Generations again, but that game is so much of a special bitch that I cannot play 5 minutes without my controller disconnecting off the game. I open the game literally right after I close Sonic Generations and the controller works. And there is, funny enough, that only happens with Sonic Generations and the fucking DMC collection on PC. It's insane.
Goodness.
Yeah, but yeah.
Looks like you gotta either get that fixed or you gotta whip out the old Xbox or like a PS4 or anything, and
I'm
fingers crossed.
I'm just going to buy Generations X Shadow. That sounds like the better idea. I don't want to mod Sonic
it is
Generations
coming out.
because I wanted to experience it as vanilla as possible, but that's impossible nowadays, it seems. So yeah. The
Yeah, you
new
just
port
gotta-
it is.
But the mods for Generations, I think it's probably the most modded Sonic game. Or like one of them at least. No, it's got crazy support. They've snuck in. They literally built out all the Sonic Unleashed stages, daytime stages, and then put it in.
Yeah. Also, yeah, you're right. You told me that was a shitty port, but you wanna know the best part about it? Even if my controller disconnected, I could still play the games normally. I didn't have my controllers jumbled all over the place like in Generations. Generations literally changed all my inputs on the spot 5 minutes after they started playing. My jump button was on the start button. What the fuck? It was so ass. God damn it.
That's funny.
Yeah, at
I
least
still
with
need to play the
DMC Collection.
DMC, like a DMC game. I have it on PS2.
Ooh.
I just haven't had the chance to come around and actually, play it.
I mean, once you finish Bayonetta, you might want to try it out. They're pretty similar series, and they are both really good. As someone that have played through the entire series on stream, I can assure you there are some stinkers, but it's a good time overall.
Yeah, I need to invest into another series at some point, but I just haven't had the chance to. I think the last series I really got invested into was probably like the Danganronpa franchise.
Ah, yeah, I usually stick to the main lines when it comes to Danganronpa. I haven't tried the Spare Girls. I've been meaning to, but I've never got around to it. I also need to play through V3.
Oh, V3 is really good. It's divisive, but I really enjoy it. Yeah, no, I played a bit of Despair Girls. I was like, this is okay, but I just didn't really care to fully commit to it. Yeah, no, I think if I were to rank the Persona games, I'd probably be like, I don't know, V3 and 2 are kind of tied for me. I know most people kind of prefer 2. But
enough, I
just had a really fun time with V3.
Funny
Really,
enough,
I like one's atmosphere. I think is the best. I think one has the best atmosphere. But yeah, shout out the homie Chihiro. But yeah, no, I love one's atmosphere. I just think as a game, I just think the story is so much more interesting in like V2 or not V2 in 2.
Yeah.
Which is saying something because I think Danganronpa 1 still has a really interesting story, great characters and everything, but it's just 2, it just feels like that much better. And then V3 is just like, I really enjoy the characters in that one. I think the setting's really interesting. Yeah, no, it's I think. Yeah, no, it's just I enjoy the franchise. I know people kind of like clown on it here and there, and it makes sense, but I enjoy them. I know I was gonna play Ace Attorney afterwards, but I was gonna be like, oh, let me save that to stream, and I just never got around to it.
It happens. But yeah, now if you go from Danganronpa to Ace Attorney, it's such a natural move. It's not even funny. Like you're going for an actual like from one courtroom to another, basically. It's insane.
Yeah. What can I say? It's meant to be.
Also, going back to a little of the Sonic games that I've played, I also played through the advanced games, at least a little of each. I never ever finished one of them, but I've tried it all 3. The one that I almost finished though was Sonic Battle. Funny enough, I really liked that one, even though it was broken all over the place. I was entertained. The characters were on brand. Like they were like you just remembered on Sonic Adventure, maybe except for Amy. But yeah, the characters were nice. It was a nice interactive piece of media. The thing is, starting that game with the main protagonist sucks so much because you do nothing. Like everybody just bodies you every single time if you play with Emerald. At the beginning, once you level up a little and get some actual nice moves, yeah,
then you're bodying them.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Gamma that is broken as shit.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't have much memory playing it as a kid. I owned it, but I just didn't have much memory. I think it's the only Game Boy game I still have. But yeah, no, like I've always the story, it's one of those things. There's like a couple of Sonic games where gameplay wise they just aren't there, but their stories are like surprisingly like really good and just weren't done justice. And I think those games are like Sonic Battle and like Sonic and the Black Knight.
Yeah, there is someone remaking Sonic and the Secret Rings with actual like controller stuff. I've tried that demo like a few days ago, and honestly, outside of being a little bit too slippery, it was fun. Like it was just one level and it was fun. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that a few days ago. I've been meaning to try it out because I saw it on my timeline. So that's probably when I'm going to give a shot soon enough. But yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up playing Secret Rings and like Black Knight. Never could finish Secret Rings, but I really did love like Black Knight. Even to this day, like I still have a soft spot for Black Knight. I had no desire to like, replay it myself. But for like what it is, and I think especially like from a writing and like story standpoint, I think it's a really like beautiful game. Um, I think it takes like Secret Rings had a message it was trying to kind of pull. It just didn't work, but the writers popped off on Black Knight, and we got like a really just crazy to think we got like a whole Sonic game about like mortality, with like a really just deep writing in a sense that not even like Frontiers was really able to match. So it's just like it's kind of crazy to think.
Yeah. Then you have games like, I don't know how, but you say that, and then the games that come right after that is Sonic Colors, and then just like, what happened here? It's just, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, I think it's because like Sega saw the reception of Unleashed, and everyone's like, oh, only the daytime stages, not the Werehog. And they're like, okay. And it's also around the time it's like, oh, Sonic's friends. So they brought new writers. They kind of switched it out because people were. This is still like the age of the internet where people were like, oh yeah, Sonic game. Why is he so serious? Why is he so like that type of shit? So it was. Yeah, they just went full like goofy kind of route. And I think at the time it was like a breath of fresh air because it was just so much like moody Sonic stuff that just wasn't hitting. I mean, yeah, you had a few stuff like Black Knight, for example, but for the most part, it was just things were not landing. So I get why, and like at the time it was fresh, but yeah, now that the more that people kind of like look back on it, it's I don't think it's what you wanted. I think it's still okay. It's mostly a 2D game with like a few 3D stages. But yeah, beautiful soundtrack though. I will say I love a lot of the music and even like the stages. I think they have some really good stages compared to in some other Sonic games where it's like like the creativity is kind of lacking.
I mean,
I love like the whole theme park kind of setting.
yeah, I actually like that. The only one that I'm not a big fan of, funny enough, is Planet Wisp, but
Really?
yeah, I just don't like that setting. I like it going through the actual like space amusement park type of thing. Tropical Resort works because you get the view of space and the earth down there. Then you get the actual like spaceships and the actual like what's it called, the light bridge that is just you're just running around all over it, going from ship to ship between it. It's just amazing. But then you go to Planet Wisp, which is just a planet getting industrialized, and just like, I guess it makes sense you're building another part of the amusement park here, but I just came from literally a candy kingdom to this. It's just, why?
Never let them know your next move. Never let them know.
I guess. It's just the
But no,
only
makes
one
sense.
that I don't like, and they brought it back to Generations, which is just like, I will absolutely adore Tropical Resort instead of that one, but you know what? I'll take it. It's on the 3DS version, if I remember correctly, on Generations, so it works, I guess.
Yeah, but the justification you need do it justice. But yeah, no, I mean personally, I love Planet Wisp. I think it's like such a beautiful stage, and I like the kind of the contrast between like the nature and like the industry kind of industrial like work space.
You
I can get
that.
why I can get why people might not be fond of it. It makes sense. But I'm also just like, it is what it is. I feel like it was a nice change of pace, especially in like Sonic Generations, why they chose that stage instead of like a tropical resort. I think they had already. Pardon me.
You're fine.
They already had the like Speed Highway, which is kind of like a nighttime stage.
Yeah.
And you also have like the darker colors of Crisis City. So I get why, and then also like Chemical Plant Zone. So I get why they chose to do kind of Planet Wisp instead of anything else, any of the other stages.
Makes sense. What I don't get is why was Radical Highway for Sonic? But it's fine, I guess. They needed an adventure level.
Radical Highway for Sonic? Like, what do you mean?
Didn't they?
Speed Highway?
Oh, it's Speed Highway, yeah.
Yeah, from the.
I just tend to confuse them both.
Radical Highway is making a comeback though for Shadow's part in a Sonic Shadow Generations.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, the remix sounds amazing. I just can't wait for the full versions. Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like the final game. I think it's gonna be. I was skeptical at first, but the more I see of it, I'm like, okay, this is actually I could get behind this.
Yeah.
So.
Like the game in and of itself looks the same, but it has some like tweaks here and there. If you notice more the graphical difference between OG and an actual like Shadow and Sonic Generations on the Shadow section, because Shadow looks way better. But it's just minimal difference. I am not picky. I actually like both, how they look. He means SA2 level in the 3DS version being Shadow stage instead of a Sonic one, right? I keep confusing both.
Makes sense. I mean, oh goodness me. Yeah, no, I mean, I can see the with confusion. They're both nighttime stages, both have highway in them. Kind of similar vibes, honestly. So it's not the most surprising thing to get them mixed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, goodness, man. Part of me kind of despises Generations at the same time because of just how lenient Sega has been on like the Generations assets for the past decade. Like, I don't. After this game, like after Sonic X Shadow Generations, I do not want to see Green Hill, Chemical Plant, or like Angel Island brought up in a Sonic game for at least another decade. I am so tired of those stages, like to the point. Like I get angry. I get mad when I see them. Like it's forever like ruined those stages. They've been forced down our kind of throats over and over, recycling the same like. Pisses me off. They pick those out in Generations. They're like, let's make this not the only thing. I'm like.
If Sonic Colors wasn't a port, I'm pretty sure they will manage to just squeeze Green Hill Zone in there somehow. Like a post-credit level, you're running through the earth on Green Hill Zone. Fuck it. No.
Because the thing is, like, in Adventure 2, where you unlock Green Hill, like, it's cool. It's like, it's so cool. It's like a recreation, like a 3D recreation of Green Hill in like a completely different way than what we got in like Generations.
Yeah. It was a Sonic Adventure adapted Green Hill Zone, and it was a reward for completionist. It wasn't like something that you get at the beginning of the game, like in Forces or Generations.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's, oh my gosh, yeah. Where, yeah, no, it was like a piece for piece like recreation of Green Hill. Like you can play the stage if you put the camera where it was like 2D of Sonic not Generations. If you made like a 2D camera between Sonic Adventure 2 and compare it to like Green Hill, it should be like a pretty much like one-for-one comparison, pretty much how the levels laid out and everything. So it's really cool. And then Generations, it takes more like creative liberties, which I enjoy. I enjoy both of them, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, Adventure 2 was like really special, but now Green Hill just leaves like a bad taste in my mouth. It was cool with like Sonic Generations when it came out, seeing those stages. I was like, oh, this is so rad. Ever since they started like reusing all the assets and everything, I've just been like, no, stop. And there's nothing wrong with like reusing assets, but usually you'll like change them slightly to match what you're doing. But just with Sonic, it's come off as lazy and like pandering.
I know, right?
So yeah,
Like
I'm glad that like we're getting past that. I'm happy.
I hope so. It technically was on Frontiers as one of the few skins for these base levels, but
yeah, I'm not counting that though. That was I mean, I'm gonna say like I think the next Sonic game and onward, I think they're I think they've even confirmed like, yeah, no, we won't force down Green Hill. I think it's Sonic games have not had like a proper budget in a good while. So now that like this Frontiers has done so well, and like especially in Japan, which has always been like an issue with Sega, is just getting Sonic games to succeed in like their own country. The fact they're seeing success, they've already like doubled the team pretty much of like developers for Sonic games, which is great to see.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that we can thank two things. Sonic was kind of revived in the eyes of the fans thanks to Sonic Mania, and Sonic was kind of like brought back to the public eye thanks to like the first Sonic movie.
Yeah.
So we're living in like a very special era where Sonic is kind of back in the limelight in a sense.
Yeah,
it's nice to see.
You have 2 successful movies, a few successful games with 1 or 2 that are just tanking a few things, but just overall, Sonic is doing great. Like Frontiers did really good, Mania did really good before it. We don't talk about Sonic Colors Ultimate or Forces, but outside of those, yeah, no, Sonic's doing pretty good. I can't wait for Sonic 3 though. The movies look so good.
I'm excited. Just from what I've heard, I'm excited to hear, or I'm excited to see the trailer. We'll see if it gets delayed or not, though, because they're taking a really long time with releasing anything to do with it. So,
hey, fuck you! I'll talk about the music-wise. I mean, I'm not stopping you. I am not going to stop you. Plus, Sonic Colors Ultimate. I have to admit it, some of the remixes are way better than the original in some areas. I absolutely adore that soundtrack. But yeah, that's all.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. Sonic is doing great. But the thing is, what will you expect for the next one? Do you think they're going to stick around with Frontiers level and gameplay design, or they're going to go back to Boost formula or something?
I think they're going to stick with the open zone kind of format. I think we're going to probably get something similar to Frontiers, just a more polished version. I originally thought that they were going to do like some sort of like it'll be Sonic and Shuck's end of Frontiers. Pretty much signals like this isn't a huge spoiler. It's kind of like, like it seems like the characters are going to kind of go off on their own adventures. So I was like, maybe this will be when they like do a Sonic and Shadow game. But now that we have like Sonic X Shadow Generations, I don't know what's going to come next. Like in a lot of aspects, I just know it's going to probably be another more open world, open zone kind of Sonic game. And yeah, I can just hope. I have a bunch of hopes, but Sega is so unpredictable. I mean, they literally saw the success of Sonic Generations, and they're like, you know what? Let's make Sonic Lost Worlds now. Like, they're so unpredictable that I'm not even gonna try and predict their next move because I know it's probably gonna be wrong. But I just hope it takes what made Frontiers good. I do want, and I'm hopeful that we're gonna get another Sonic game that hits just like the 2000 stuff. And I think we're taking steps in the right direction. I liked Frontiers enough. I think right now it's getting a lot of praise and hype, but I think the moment the next Sonic game comes out, we're gonna kind of see Frontiers drop in on a lot of lists, because I think Frontiers is good as a stepping stone. It's good to show, okay, they're taking the right direction, but like Sonic if we're gonna rank it via like Sonic games, it's probably like an A or a B. But if we're talking like just games in general, it's very much like a C or a B kind of game for me. The last update really left a bad taste in my mouth for the difficulty stage, like the difficulty level.
Right.
I did end up like finishing it, but it definitely kind of ruined some of the boss battles. But goodness, I just want Sonic to be more like a shonen anime. Again, I think he's at his best when he's kind of in that aspect, and I think Frontiers really nailed that like style.
Frontiers delivered on the actual like combat prowess of Sonic in that regard. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like the animations for in between like boss faces and the actual like moves Sonic has against enemies and stuff like that you can do. It's holy shit. And the other characters get so much so fun movesets too. Like Tails just summoning the fucking tornado to just fly around. Amy using the tarot cards and having Sonic fucking Riders mobility with the actual like tarot card wheel and stuff. That's so fun. Like holy shit. And funny enough, Knuckles having that infinite jump from Sonic Boom back.
Old habits die hard, baby.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, no, I just hope they stick a little bit more with Sonic Frontier style of gameplay and levels. It's
Me
fun.
too.
It is fun. I wonder what's next, like actually, because you have Sonic Frontiers, then you have Colors Ultimate, and now you have Sonic Generations. It almost looks like they wanted to go back to the boost formula a little bit. Man, I don't know. Maybe I don't know exactly how Shadow is going to work either. Like they just showed levels with Shadow, but how is it going to work outside of them? Like, do you switch around?
He has an open world thing.
Oh.
Yeah, there's an open like hub world for him to be in. So yeah, I've seen some screenshots of it on my timeline. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting kind of I think having open world kind of be the main thing, and then yeah, they can have like some like boost stages. I think that's probably what we can expect. Because I think while a lot of Sonic fans are like, we're ready to see like the end of the boost formula, and they think it's gonna come to an end. A lot of people who kind of got back into Sonic, who were playing Sonic Frontiers, their whole thing was like, oh, our favorite part is like the boost stages. So I don't see them getting rid of those, which for me, I'm just like whatever. If they're like smaller parts of the stages and not like the main part of the game at this point, then like, I'm fine with it. I think they're fun in doses. I think they proved with Unleashed and Generations that they can make it work, but they're also just so like heavy budget wise. I think them now being able to, do an open zone kind of open world thing is going to save them a lot of money, and it's going to make things go the extra mile. And plus, just like, I don't know, a lot of Sonic games are kind of filled with gimmicks to kind of pad out the game more. I'm just looking forward to a Sonic game where there isn't any major gimmicks. It's like, oh yeah, no, it's an open world, and we have the boost formula, but they don't feel the need to like have the gimmick take up all the game time kind of thing. Like already have the base of the game kind of be able to be satisfactory with game length, and then what they add or gimmick wise what they want to do just works. I don't know, maybe I'm being too hopeful. I've been gaslit too many times by Sega, so I'm just
no, when it comes to Sonic, they are like you said, when it comes to Sonic, they are super random. It's not like they're going to keep it like consistent like the Ryoga Gotoku team with Yakuza, or the Atlus with this Persona, and all the RPGs they have been making recently. It's it's a little weird when it comes to Sonic. They just go from game style to game style at random. It's unpredictable, which is, I guess, a good thing, because you can get pleasantly surprised, like with Frontiers.
Yeah, I just want a Sonic game that I can like sink my teeth into and just have like a lot of fun with again.
Yeah. I just want to play Sonic Generations, man. I don't want to deal with my controller disconnecting of the game and just changing my inputs just because.
It'll be worth the wait. Trust me. It's a worthwhile game.
Oh, it is. I know.
Thank you for having me on this. It's been great.
Oh yeah, it's been great. It's been an amazing time, and thank you for accepting being here. It's been fun.
Hell yeah. Anytime.
Alright. Do you have anyone on your end that you want to rate?
Well, I know Kishin Shinobi is playing Sonic the Hedgehog right now, so I feel like that'd be a pretty fitting raid.
Alright. Send me the link. I'll prepare the raid for it. Kishin
Oh yeah.
Shinobi. Ooh. Okay. But yeah, no, it's been an amazing time, dude. Thank you so much. For
Yeah,
being here.
it's been great.
I'm most.
Hell yeah.
We need to repeat it.
Yeah, we gotta a round 2 eventually.
Yes. Most likely it's going to be after the coming events for the Sonic franchise, and maybe even other things. Who knows?
Yeah, we gotta get back and see what we think about it. I gotta get your thoughts on Generations.
Here's hoping I can get my hands on it. I've been broke for a minute.
Feel that.
But yeah, no, it's been real. It's been amazing.
Oh yeah.
What are your plans for next week, if you have any? Anything that people needs to keep an eye out?
Just check out, my YouTube channel, Wallace Prower. No caps, no spaces. I am working on.
There you go.
Thank you.
You can also
working on
check it on
Sonic. Yeah. If you like any kind of Sonic related videos, less about the games, we're just about, pop culture impact and just silly stuff, whether you can decipher a Sonic quote from a Weezer lyric. My channel is the channel for you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really to plug right now.
All right.
So thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for being here. It's been amazing. I get to talk about Sonic every once in a while, but not at this kind of length. So it's nice to just share what I know or what I've experienced so far with this little franchise that everybody knows.
Gotta share the love.
Yeah.
Gotta share the love.
Yeah.
I don't usually give my opinion about Sonic stuff either, so it's nice to just be able to, shoot the shit.
Just chill out and nerd about one of the favorite franchise for people. Yeah. Alright. When it's been real, people. Expect me to just post updates on Twitter. I've been I'm going to enter the editing dungeon after this, so yeah, be seeing you guys next week. We have a guest coming up, so stay tuned for that too. And yeah, I'll be seeing you all on the next time. Bye.
Take care, everyone.